Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing okay. So, I'm a few minutes early actually for a change. I'm usually a little bit late lately. So, took a loss yesterday. I'll have a talk about I lost some of my Traderify accounts. I kind of knew they were getting a bit low, but I wanted to sort of put something into place to move forward. Your parcel from Bolt Healthcare is due. Yeah, I just wanted to make a few changes. I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get a few more in. I mean, the trouble is, when you're kind of new to trading, you go from not making money to making a bit of money, and as soon as you get to payment level, you withdraw and not leaving yourself much in. So my Traderify accounts, I ended up blowing yesterday. Now, bearing in mind, I'd had $2,000 out of 4 out of 5 of them, so they certainly paid for themselves. So I think the best thing Apex ever did was to stop you withdrawing $2,000 when you get to 2,600, because all that left you with effectively was $500, and that isn't going to go nowhere. So Traderify, Lucid, all those, you get to $3,000. First thing you want to do is withdraw 2. So where the drawdown is, it leaves you about $900, which is just going nowhere. So I seem to be doing this rinse and repeat type of a cycle that seems to be the norm with prop trading. So I'll have a little talk in a while about what I want to do. I've got 7 accounts at the moment, and I'm going to get 5 of them to a certain level and then try and take a regular monthly amount out of them rather than doing this in and out type of a scenario. So we get a few more in half an hour. I'll have a talk about that a little bit more. What have we had really? So it's been swinging, isn't it, the last few days? So we did on Bookmap have an absolute stack of orders. There was about 900 odd orders right there. You can see it about 17-ish, which is there, and it pushed right straight through that. So there is more down here at about 210, which is where I've got that currently. So now we've got a channel, a break, 2 pushes to a new low. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And there's more down here, so interesting to see. I mean, if you buy in here, stop down here, depending on where you think this thing is going to go. I'm still having problems with my Guardian Angel Trader for some reason. As soon as I set it up, it's coming up with these error messages. So I'm not sure what I'm doing. Let me just show you the message. It doesn't really make much sense, to be honest with you. Let me just, I've got to get the thing to pop up. Here it is. Yeah, I keep getting this message come up. I don't quite know why. Some sort of an order, some sort of an error. So I stop errors on 240 and then it brings it up on another one and another one. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I had this issue before, and I think it was Sean who put me right, but I don't seem to know what I'm doing. I just wanted to pop it in place. So I'll have to have a little chat with that in a bit. So KQ, good morning to you. Daryl, how you doing? So orders down here at 210 have been taken, I think. Oh no, tell a lie, they've been yanked, some of them. Some at 2.5, which is actually right at the bottom, just below this level here. If we are ranging, I suppose that's where you'd expect buyers to be down there. Scruffy, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, so we've had a channel down with a break. Market is open. It's slow, though. There's not much going on, really. We've got 2 legs back here. As I say, there are orders at 2.5 down here, so a couple of legs back. If it looked nice, that would definitely interest me. It depends. You can see those orders down here, can't you? There's over 1,000 of them. 1,085. That got smashed. That got smashed. Trouble is, that got eaten up. This changed to less. I don't think it got hit. 210 didn't get hit. That's where those orders were at 210. So 210 didn't actually, those orders didn't get pulled up. 210's here. Price didn't hit those orders. So that looked like the order just got yanked, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. So going up the white line. Let's have a look. I'm going to have a chat with you in a minute, Sean, as well. You know what the white line graphing book map, the white line. You got about this thing here, bud, are you? See, I don't know too much about it. I kind of understand that these are all passive orders. These are aggressive orders, and more kind of the visual stuff. But oh, this zigzaggy line here, I don't really know, mate. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure. Assuming that's what you mean. I don't really know, but I could probably do with finding a little bit more out. Those orders are down here, so we got a leg up with a break. If we get a lower high here, that might not be a terrible trade with these orders down here. I did notice it before. Yeah, I don't know. While you're talking, mate, I'm still having trouble with my Guardian Angel trader. I set it again, and it's just coming up with this error. So I've just had to reset everything, and I've not got it working at the moment, but I don't know why it keeps coming up with this error. Fortunately, I'm not locking it at the moment, so I can get straight back into it, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I might have to have a go through the... I had that problem before, if you remember, a few months ago. But I don't know what's doing. I'm going to have to go through on the website and go through the instructions and figure out what I seem to be doing wrong. But I know you mentioned something once before, didn't you? And I adjusted it, and it seemed to work. So I might just be clicking one single box. Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? So let's have a look. So there are buy orders down here at around about 14, which is below here. 14 is there. So there are buy orders there. So maybe this is coming up and traders are thinking if it comes back here, I'll buy. But this price, there are buyers further down here, a massive chunk of them right at the bottom. I suppose that's where you'd be thinking about buying. So this to me is giving me the impression that it may come down. Now, if all of a sudden a load of aggressive buyers come in, that might not be the case. But what I'm seeing is orders down here. There's more orders down than there are up. You can see they're quite large as well. So if we can get a lower high here, I may have a go at that. But what we can see is a channel with a break and a new high. We got no entry there. There is an entry there. In fact, you probably get that on a limit order.
Order submitted.
If it comes back, it's only gone down about 6 ticks. I don't think it's going to get us, is it? Channel break, new high. Come on.
Order filled.
Got me. So let's bring that to there. Good thing about getting on a limit order, kind of already, we may be out of this before we know it, but don't you dare no, come down. Come on, come down. God, we were one tick away there. Oh, look at that. We're one tick away from profit there. See, there are buy orders down here. There's buy orders at 12 and there's buy orders at 5. So my gut feeling is this is going to come down. We got a nice lower high there. It's not too bad there. Looks better on here. Don't come up, come down. That's not looking too rosy now. I liked it. Channel break, new high. Strong push below the EMA. Come on, come down. What do I do? Do I get out here? Leg and a leg. Still see orders down here, 15 and 12. Trouble is, come on, it should come down. See, looking at Bookmap, we got orders here at 15, strong orders at 12. At the moment, there's slightly more aggressive sellers, so price should come down. We'll see. I was just a tick away there as well, which is a bit frustrating. Don't you dare go up. See, this is one time where Bookmap doesn't seem to be playing a part. Laufey, how you doing? Russell, how you doing, bud? Oh, I was one tick off it. That's frustrating. Probably come up and take me then and push down. That's annoying. So we got 2 legs up now. That'd be a triple test there if it breaks above there. 1, 2, 3. Still strong orders at 12.5. Come on, down you come. Tempted to get out of this. See what happens. Push down. 2 legs up and a push down. We're below that EMA. Tempting to get out, but let's see what happens now. Come on. Come on, you're nearly there. Come on. Push, 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 push. I ain't taking a loss here, that's for certain.
Order filled.
Finally. So sometimes if you just stand your ground, it does work. I mean, I was a couple of ticks away there, but I like that we had a channel out with a break, a new high, big strong move down here. And what I like as well is there are a big chunk of orders down here, which they've just yanked again. That's happening a few times there. It gets closer there and they disappear. It's frustrating, that is. So, major work for that one, yeah, it did, mate. Do you know what? I've changed a few plans. Now we've got a few more, and I'll talk a little bit about it. But I've made a few plans because I'm getting into a vicious circle here, which is kind of getting me not kind of in trouble, but it's just leading me down a wrong road. Let me have a look at it. Yes, let me just mark that up. So 3 points. So what will I call that? Channel break, new high. So it's 2 legs up. Let's just 2 points. 2 points. Okay, so as you know, I've been trading Traderify quite a bit. Now, Traderify is good. Well, the positive side of Traderify is if you get to $3,000, you receive payouts from prop firms other than Apex so far. Yeah. I'll show you one quick one. So I blew some accounts yesterday. Now, let me just show you the payouts. Payout history. So I had those payouts the 20th between the 16th and the 20th of last month. So I had 5 accounts and I got paid from 4 of them. Now, the trouble is with these types of accounts, you're asked to get to $3,000. When you hit $3,000, you can withdraw $2,000, which leaves you $1,000. Actually, only leaves you with $900 because the drawdown stops at $50,100. The trouble is, you have $3,000. It's a nice amount, but then you lose 2/3 of it, and straight away, the tendency is to try and take a risk to get them back. Now, I think the best thing Apex ever did was to stop you taking $2,000 when you got to 2,600 because it basically left you with nothing. Now, I'm getting into this rinse and repeat type of this vicious circle of getting accounts, taking money, blowing them, getting accounts, taking money, blowing them. In the real world, you can't do that. So I sat down last night, put pen to paper, and worked out a plan. So at the moment, I have 7 accounts. I've got 6 Apex account and 1 Lucid account that I picked up to try. So my Apex accounts consist of, I've got one that's $4,500 and the others are around about $800 to $1,000. Now, I think I think at some point you have to get to a stage where you can't keep throwing money at it and taking a bit, throwing it and taking a bit, because every time you're earning money, you're paying out nearly half of it in fees, and it's a vicious cycle, and it gets you into a bad habit. So what I'm going to do is with these, I'm going to use the one account that's got $4,500 in to give me roughly $2,000 a month payout, just to keep a wage coming in. I'm not going to spend another penny on an evaluation or a prop account. And the 5 accounts I've got, I'm going to grow them to $7,500. That's the plan. Now, if I grow them to $7,500 and I risk 1 contract for 3 points, I'm risking 2%. Now, sometimes you're risking below 3 points, sometimes you're risking above, but the average is 3 points. So I'm only risking $2,000. And I've worked out I can comfortably make around $1,000 per month per account. So that's really interesting there. We've got 2 legs up there. I'm sitting tight here because we've also down, across and down. We could come low. We have got orders right down here, but I'm just going to sit tight at the minute. So there's no point in constantly doing this rinse and repeat because you're in a vicious circle. Not only that, it's a ball ache. It just gives you a headache. Constant money. The idea with trading is to have a little pot of money and earn a wage from it. So with the 5 accounts, I'm not going to take a payment until I get to $7,500, and then I'll say anything I earn above that $7,500, I will withdraw per month. So that should give me, just from those accounts, a wage of around about $5,000 per month. Now, when those accounts get roughly halfway, those 5 accounts get roughly halfway to that $7,500, I'm going to add 5 more, which should be probably in a couple of months, and do it that way. I think it's good to give yourself these targets. Very tempted to go short here, but I'm going to wait for the lower high. just in case. Because all I'm doing is just doing this in and out type of thing. Can you tell more about Traderfy rules? Okay, Traderfy rules. 20% consistency. So $3,500, ideally $600 is your maximum earnings per day to get a withdrawal at $3,000. Apart from that, there's pretty much not a lot to it. You can trade, I think, up to 4 minis. You've got to be out, I think it's 1 minute before the news or 1 or 2 minutes before the news. So it's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. I'm certainly not an expert on it. But it's pretty straightforward. I think it costs for a $50,000 account, it's about $350. And that's it. Basically, you trade it until you hit $3,000, and then you can withdraw too. And it's very quick withdrawals as well. They approve it usually within 10 minutes, and it's paid, they say, within 24 hours. I've had my 4 payments within half a day, and then straight away it's in your account. Now, if you're UK based, you can have it sent directly to your bank, which is a bit pricey, or you can have it in crypto. I withdrew mine to Kraken in USDC, so the whole thing cost me about £1.5 in fees, so it's cheaper. So if you're in the US, there's no issues, it just goes straight to your account. But apart from that, there's not much to it really. But you know, if you get to $3,000 you withdraw to, you've only effectively got $900 left. And it's like anything. You drive around in a $900 car, you don't take nowhere near as care of it as if it's a $90,000 car. So for me, it just, you're not left with much. So at some point, you have to grow these accounts. You're never going to learn. No, I mean, I watched for a little bit trades by Matt, and I think on average he had about $10,000 in his account per account, and he was trading that. So you have to build money. I understand it's a process. You go from being a newer trader to not earning a penny and blowing and wasting a load of money till you get your first payment. And then you get a few payments, you get nothing, a few payments, and then you start to get some consistency. Now, last month, what did I get? 2,516. I got $18,500 last month, and that's fantastic. But it doesn't leave you with nothing, and the chances are you blow the accounts. So, really, if you think about a trader, just pick a standard trader that trades his own money. What does he do? He has a pot of money. So I know a trader, a professional trader, who has £120,000. He puts 25% of that into his broker account, and the rest he puts into the S&P 500. But he trades his risk on the whole pot, although he only leaves 25% of it in the broker, just in case you get any weird black swan event. Now, if you've got a lump sum, you can say, I'm going to risk, you think he risks 1%, I think, and he makes a living. But if you go down the prop route and you get your first prop account, you never really grow it. You get it to a small level, you take it, you blow it, you get it. You know, if really you want to be risking 1%, 2%, 3%, and you're only going to do that if you grow the account. Otherwise, you've got constant stress. Woof, that shut down. So I think it's time for me now to start growing up and saying, look, up until now, you know, I would say realistically, a third of what I earn goes on fees. Well, you can't sustain that. The whole idea in trading is to make money, not, you know, just constantly be buying and buying and buying. So that's my new plan anyway. So I'm down to 1 contract on those accounts. I built those payment accounts over the space of 2.5 months. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to not spend any money until I get those 5 accounts, at least halfway to that 7,500. But if you get a 7,500 and risk 1 contract, you're risking 2% on average, which is perfect. That way you never have to worry about blowing an account, and you've got a nice big buffer. So that's the plan. I've also kind of designed myself quite simply. Just bring it in a minute. I've designed myself just a simple trade journal. Just this thing there. That's all. Nice and simple. Just make this a bit smaller. And what I can do as well, let's move that over, is I can insert an image there of the actual trade, a picture of the trade itself, my win percentage, any notes. You can pay a lot of money for these, but you don't need to be honest with you. It's pretty straightforward to do one of these, and I just do a new one down the bottom for December, a new one on this. But all I'm going to do is just how many accounts I'm trading, what time it is, contract size, win, loss, points, blah, 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 the useful stuff. Dead simple to do this. I don't know jack shit about Excel, only the basics, and I've managed to put this together. So pretty straightforward, actually. But I really need to start having a plan, really. If I'm going to be a trader for a living, I can't just be doing this prop firm stuff in, out, up, down, up, down. It's just, it's killing me mentally for a start. I want to come to work, trade some accounts, simple risk, nothing too crazy, and I don't have to worry about blowing accounts. Scalping is stressful. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Can lead to mistakes. Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about it, because when you see a trade and you jump in quick, you kind of feel like you're winging it. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like I'm a professional. It feels like I'm winging it. But that's kind of scalping, isn't it? Very quick decisions, and it does seem like you're constantly on the fly. You know, but I don't think I could sit here with a 15-minute chart, and it's very different, I think, trading bigger charts and more swing trading. I wish I had it in me, but you know, if I had a bunch of accounts at $7,500, I know I'm only risking 2%, so I can do it and relax. So at least that's type side of it. The stress about the money side, I can kind of keep that to a bare minimum. If you're only risking 2%, you shouldn't have a lot of stress there. So that would remove a lot of the stress. Get your head in it in a moment. You are done. Yeah, I see prop firms have given us absolutely prop. There's a massive space for prop firms, but I think you need to. Martin, how you doing, my friend? I never withdraw into the drawdown. Tradeify, you mean? I trade 50,000 lightning, wait to reach 3,000 profit, and withdraw 1,000. Yeah. How you doing, bud? Nice to speak to you. Yes. I think it's just part of the journey about being a trader. You know, last month I had 16, 17, 18, $18,500. My best payment I've had, and it's exciting to start earning money like that. But if you're grabbing every single penny of everything you're earning, you're leaving yourself vulnerable constantly, and it's like you're on the edge of your seat consistently, and it's not a great place to be long term. So, you know, I had 5 Tradeify accounts. I got 8,000 off the 4 of them and ended up blowing the other one. Trouble is, when it's so low, it's like anything. If it's not worth much, you don't take care of it. You know, it's not the ideal thing to do, but it's just kind of how life works. You know, as I said before, if you're driving around in a $900 old banger, you don't take care of it as if it was like a nice £90,000 Land Rover. You're going to take better care of it. It's just kind of the way it is. So not only that, you really need to be careful when you're spending $350 on an account. It is great to get rid of evaluate. I find evaluations just stressful and a pain in the arse. It is nice to do that, but if you get a bit frustrated, you know, I find when I get my accounts close to $3,000, I treat them with kid gloves. I'm very respectful and very careful because I know it's a matter of time before I get a payment. But once I get a payment, I seem to relax because the accounts, there's not much in the account, and once you've got a big chunk of money, you kind of relax. So I'm going to do this 5 at a time. So I've got 5 accounts. Well, I've got 7, but I'm going to use 5 accounts as an example. I'll just going to bring those up to 7,500. When I get halfway, I'll get another 5. But until then, I'm not going to spend a penny. You can't keep chucking money at these things. You really can't. It's just it's a never-ending cycle. So this will be the first time for a month or two that I'll have never spent any money. It's okay making a bit, but if you're giving away a third of it, you cut your nose off to spite your face. You're good doing evals. No, I'm not. You think I am, but I'm not. You see the odd few that I pass. You don't see the tens of hundreds that I've blown. I think I have probably a 1 in 3 or 4 hit rate. I probably blow 3 or 4 for every one I pass, something like that. Now that might not sound great if if they're 90% off, but it's not. It gets you into taking bad habits, and it's not the way. I mean, as a trader, you've got to have a certain amount of professionalism. Now I understand that's not going to come overnight. But I think it's constantly working forward and improving. And you have to, at some point, say, okay, I can't keep throwing money at it. It's just like a never ending game. You put your money in, you take your money out. Ideally, you want to put your money in, grow your accounts till you can regularly withdraw without having to put in. And it's all part of the game and part of the cycle. But this is the next level for me that I have to focus on and start to grow a account. But if you're only genuinely risking 2% and earning a nice living, life is going to be so much more relaxing in front of a chart. Straight to funny because the rules. Yeah, I mean, they're not for everyone. They can be pricey. I think they're about $350 for a Traderify. If you've got a lot of self-control and you're not kind of blowing accounts, that they're, they can be good. But yeah, I think trading is constantly about moving forward, baby steps. So on and so forth. I like the idea of getting take profit traders, Traderify accounts above the buffer to get daily payouts. Yeah. I mean, in an ideal world, if you said to me, what does a trader do? He has a pot of money, he risks a certain percentage of it, and takes a wage. It's nothing more straightforward than that. Generally, traders will talk about the 1 to 3%, 2% kind of being in the middle. And I've heard of professional traders just risking 0.5% or even less than that. I suppose, if you've got $200,000 or $300,000 in the bank and you risk 1%, it's still a fair chunk of money. But $7,500 and trading one contract would be an average of 2%, which I think is perfect. And then get another 5 and do the same thing and build up sensibly instead of trying to rush. But what I've been doing up until now is all part of it. You don't earn money, then you earn a bit and then you blow it. Then you earn a bit more and blow that. And then you realize I'm starting to make money now. I need to think about keeping it and making sensible choices. Keep the sad nets and you'll be fine. Yeah. Open a 10,000 account, build slowly. Yeah. I mean, ideally, what I'd love to be able to do is build toward trading my own account. But until I do that, I need to be able to, make sensible decisions. And the decisions I've been making, buying a bit, blowing a bit, buying a bit. Yeah, I'm making some money. I'm definitely profitable. But I could be a damn sight more profitable and have a lot less stress. So I now need to kind of grow up a bit and move to the next level. As we know, there's certain kind of steps, isn't there? So that's my kind of new plan. So yeah, that trade there. What do you think of that? I was actually a tick away from actually well, probably 2 really by the time it pushes, but I like the way we had this 2 pushes to a new low. We had a channel up with the break and a new high, and then immediately triggered that bar and came down. And what I liked about that is you've got a higher low there, which pushed up, immediately triggered, came straight down. My gut, if it breaks below there, it's going to push down exactly what it did. I was and I go for 3 points. I got in right on the nail right there because I got in on a slight limit order. Let's have a look. So yeah, that was it. So that's where I got in there, right on the nail, and it bounced at 3 points. It's got to push through. So another tick and I'd have been okay. And then it backtracked almost back to where I my stop was, but eventually it did push down and did its stuff. But another thing that I'm trying to do as well is not mess with me trades. I don't know how many times I've got out of trades for a tick and they've gone on to make 3 points. I took 2 trades early in the week, took 2 points on both of them. Both of them went for 3. So one more trade like that, and I'm down 3 points. That would cover a loss. So as tempted as it was when that started coming back to get out for a tick, I ended up leaving it and it worked. So I think I can put my hand on my heart and say overall, I'm financially better off if I leave the trade alone. As painful as it can be. Trouble is, the more you risk, the more you're stressed and you want to get out of a trade. But at least now trading one contract doesn't scare me as much to let the trade go. So it's about finding balance, isn't it? And if you're constantly on the edge of your seat all the time, it's no good for your nerves, is it? I know I've been going through scotch like crazy lately, for the nerves. Well, that's my excuse. So if you get counts to $7,500, if you take an average of 2 clear winners a week, that's about $300. That's over $1,200 over a month. So I don't think $1,000 on average, $250 of clear profits in a week is unrealistic. And if you have 5 accounts, that's $5,000 per month you're making there. And then if you can do that with 5. I think sometimes it's good to give yourself targets that I don't spend another penny until I can prove I can get those accounts to that level. And when I do, my reward is to add to them. I think you've got to look at this as a professional kind of a plan, really. You can't just be, it's almost like being in a casino sometimes, this job. Because you're constantly putting money in to get money out. It's not a nice feeling. And it's definitely stressful. Disco, how you doing, buddy? I didn't see you there, mate. Sorry. I do like the idea of getting taken. Yeah. So at least I've done my trade for the day, so straight away I can relax. If anybody used Guardian Angel Trader, I'm having some problems. It just keeps coming up with an error. It won't let me trade all the accounts. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I think I'm going to have to get on the instructions later and see if I can figure out what I'm doing. I have chatted to the guy that designed it all a few times. In fact, when I moved over to my new computer, I couldn't figure it out. He did hook up through Google Connect, and he did it all for me. So he's quite approachable, actually. So, little channel, maybe a break. I'm just sitting tight here. It's hard to know what's going on. We've had that channel. It's kind of played out. This one, bit of an overshoot. So at the moment, I'm just giving this a little bit of space. If you'd have taken that short anyway, you'd have got stopped. But there's nothing you can do at the moment. You don't know whether it's going to go sideways, up or down. That would be a second entry short there. There is a higher low trapped. It's very tempting. It's very tempting. But I'm leaving this alone just at the moment because I'm a little bit unsure what's going on. It's easy to assume this is going down some more. Yeah, maybe there's something like that, which means maybe it will, but it didn't trigger, fortunately. Anyway, let me have a look. See if we got any other charts I can have a look at. So, Daniel, let's have a look. So, Dan has got this. Dan's got that at the moment, which means we're kind of still in the channel here at the moment, but there does look like there's a spike in channel, so I'm just leaving this at the minute. That's what he's got. I'm not so sure at the moment how I feel about that until I got a chance to have a look at it and get my head around it. Yeah, it's a little bit messy, isn't it? It's a bit down, but it's not very neat. So I don't want to just assume that this is going to drop. Because it does resemble ever so slightly a spike in a channel, which means it may trap some shorts and push up. When I say may, I really don't know at the moment. So simple thing is just to let it go. So looking at bookmap, there are orders up here at 85, which is up here. So that's another reason not to take it, because a lot of the time, as we know, you can see those orders there. They're relatively strong. They will get picked up before this thing goes wherever it's going. Why can I not? There's no guarantees. They're quite strong, but if we get aggressive sellers right now, it won't get back. But that's a reasonable size, so I think there's a good chance those get picked up. So whether it comes down here before that happens or whether it does that now, but it's stacking up sideways at the moment, so I'm glad I didn't get in anywhere. 85, that is. So that would be a good reason not to go short just yet. Now, if it was light blue, that wouldn't concern me a little bit, but the fact is, you know, they're relatively large. Certainly there's enough colour in there just to give me that little bit of a, just be careful here. So 2 legs up like that and down. Once it gets up here, that will be maybe a good Disco. How you doing, bud? You keep these. So anyway, tempting there, but I think that's premature. It's going sideways. I won't be surprised if it triggers it and pushes up for a second leg. I've taken trades like that before. When it's in the middle of all this, it's risky, bars and naff anyway. So my gut feeling is it's going to push up, stop out that, pick up these sell orders here. As we know, they are. There you go. So it's definitely worth looking at this. It hasn't played, then I paused it. But yeah, it pushed straight through those orders. Now, there's more orders up as 95. Now, will it get that high? It may do, but this to me looks like 2 legs. So that would be my first point of interest at 90, which is there. So it definitely keeps you on the right side of it. If you'd have got into a trade here somewhere, it triggered you. Now, depending on how many points you went for, you may have got something. But if I'd have been going for 3 points there, I'm pretty sure, no, I wouldn't have got it before it came around and stopped me out, even if it was a lower high there. But that's the good thing about watching bookmap. It can just keep you on that right side and out of trouble. I wouldn't have taken anything here as it looks, but if this is a channel, you can get why there's going to be traders, you know, taking a look at that. Does it look any better? Yeah, see, looking on here, second entry short, channel break new high. You know, I'll be surprised if some traders went there, but depending on what you go for, you'd have got 2.5 points maybe a bit less. If you went a tick below there, which is about there, yeah, you'd have got 2.5 points. If I was short in here, I'd be looking to target there, and it didn't quite get there. So, bookmap and save your soul sometimes. So, leg and a leg. Surprised that that's close to a measured leg as well. Well, that's falling there. Now, it's very tempting there, but we've still got orders up here. Now, it may not make a difference, to be honest with you, and I'll tell you why. Is because there is more aggressive sellers at the moment. They're evening out there, but I'd still be inclined. My gut feeling is we'll probably get back to the EMA, which it did, but there are strong orders above here at 90, above that, and at 95. But there's stronger orders around about 76, which is down here, so it may push down. But while those orders are above there, I'm just sitting tight. But how that's looking, my gut feeling is it's probably going to come down. There's more aggressive sellers. You can see them. So aggressive sellers are pushing this down now, regardless of these passive orders up here. And it does look like two kind of nice legs. But if you look where the measured move, touch, 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 we didn't close above that line. So I think that's a good indication. Certainly went back to the EMA. Big orders down here at 76. 1 second. Excuse me, just a second. Okay, bear me a second. I'm just taking a quick 5-minute break. I'm just going to drop my daughter up the road. She's a pain in the arse. Let me just put that on. So I'm taking a quick 5-minute break. That looks like it's going to go down as well. So she's probably making me lose money. So let me just put that there. So I'll be about 5 minutes. I'm only dropping a 1 mile up the road. So I've got my 5-minute break on. So no trades open. So I'll be around about 5 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. I am. So, what are we looking at? Okay, so let's have a look. 2 legs up. It did come down. I thought that was okay. I thought that would probably work, but with orders above here, I left it. Now, it did come down and make an attempt before it pushed up for these orders, so that kind of makes sense. Just have a look at this a minute. Now, that is very interesting. Touch, touch, touch. Fit nice there, fit nice there. So there is a possibility that that could be a channel with kind of 2 legs. It's not the best looking channel, but it does touch 3 times perfectly. So, bookmap is telling me there are orders at just over 800, sort of between 801 and 804, which is 8184. So there's 84 and about there. So bookmap is showing me there are orders there, kind of in that area. Now, this could still pull down yet. It depends. If I get that out of the way and look at something like this, if this is the only break so far, we could have 2 legs up and then down another leg. It's hard to say. You think with what we're seeing here, 2 legs down, 2 legs up, 2 legs down. It's hard to know whether this thing's going to push up. My gut feeling is, looking at it, if it's carrying on with its pattern, probably going to come down here and test this area down here. But that would just be an educated guess, really. So, if I get the fib tool and just put that on from the top, just to see where that's pulling back to, it's pulling right back to that 38%, perfectly on that 38%, and we're going sideways and now we're dropping. So I think there's a fair chance this could come down. Now, it may have another go at this level because it does seem there are sellers at this level. So it may... Excuse me just a second, sorry. Stressful day in the house. So, yeah. This is giving me a little bit of a picture. There are orders at 90 down here. So it may bounce and push up again. It's hard to say. But with these orders up here, I couldn't take a short here thinking lower high or failure, whatever it is, because it may come back up and pick up these orders. You can see them there. They're a little bit below 800 as well now. So they look around about there. Yeah, from around about 98, it can actually come down a little bit more. So up until where maybe 4, yeah. So there are, as you can see, orders to sell in that area, so price may come up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had 2 legs down to this 90 level and it pushed higher and tested this area again. That's what I think may happen based on what I can see. So with that in mind, it just helps me make a better decision here. So it's bounced perfectly off that 38.20. That, I don't think that's random, because it went completely sideways there. So my guess is we may get two legs and it may come up and test this again, which would be a leg up and then a second leg up. So just keep an eye on that. So excuse me again 1 second. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Dog is speaking more. Yeah, it was my daughter's friend knocked at the door, and they just Wilson, the one dog, sits down here right next to me, but when he barks, it just my heart can't take it at my age. I'm just going to take a bathroom break. I'll be a minute. Okay, so now temptation is thinking this is going to come down to look for a short here. Now that may well be the case, but let's just have a look at this. What does this tell us? There are orders up here. A lot of those orders that were there at 800, they're not as strong now. The stronger ones are down here at 87. So that would tell me this may work. There's bound to be stops there. But while we got some orders up here, I'm just going to be a little bit cautious here. Trouble is, you're supposed to have enough room to the lows there, and you haven't really. So I don't know whether... so there are orders at 95, which is above this bearish bar here. You can see them there. So if anybody takes that short, it hasn't triggered anyway. There are orders at 95, which is there, right above that bearish bar. So it's triggered now, that bearish bar. So let's see where price goes. Yeah, the orders that were there at 95 have faded a bit now. So it is starting to look more and more like this is pushing down. Those big orders there are disappearing now. Oh, Christ, price is eating. Of course it is. Pushing straight down now. So yeah, we saw those orders at this area, but they started to fade, which is telling me there's just loss of interest, whether they don't think it's going to get up there. So that can go now. So it's not guaranteed, but while those orders are sat there, there's a good chance price finds its way up there. So let me have a look here anyway. So, Nancy boy. So price looks like it's on its way down here now to certainly to 80. I don't think nothing will stop that now. I can't see a pullback. Aggressive sellers up here. It's just going to push down. It'll just eat that up. I think that at that 80 level. Still a more aggressive sellers. As long as those aggressive sellers are there, this thing will keep coming down. There may be a bit of profit taken there, which might temporarily pull it back, but I'll be shocked if that 80 doesn't get hit before it does anything else, really, to be fair. Keep an eye on these buyers. sellers are climbing up a bit there. I don't think this is going to go very far before it hits that level. There are a few orders at 85, but not much to really worry about. This will just push down, I think, now. I can't see this doing anything but this, really. We drifted a bit. There we go. So that's it, that level there. To be honest with you, you can see the aggressive sellers selling there. You could see the big passive orders down here ready to buy. How do you stop yourself from blowing up accounts? It's not easy, mate. It's not easy. The emotions, it's very hard to deal with the emotions. The only way really the emotions will slowly go is over time. The trouble is, and I'll say this, and it's been said 1,000 times before, it's not a get rich quick scheme. But when you see the Alpines and the Nutties and all that seem to be taking these big payouts and quickly growing those accounts, the tendency is to try and do it yourself. But what the difference is between those, they are making a ton of money in affiliates. I'll tell you that for certain. I will be shocked if either of those are bringing in less than $10,000 per month per affiliates. At least I would say $10,000 a month. It may be a lot more. And when you've got that sort of money, you can afford to just keep buying evals, passing them. So you're using your affiliate money to cover your losses, and then you're making money when you make money. And it's okay when you get that, but the trouble is, the more and more, I hate to think how many millions these prop firms are paying affiliates. And I noticed with Top Step, they're starting to cut affiliates. So this did exactly kind of what we thought it might do. I did think it might push up a bit, but once this thing starts going, and there's no stopping it then. Well, I know Cami Capital, nice guy. I've spoken to him half a dozen times. He got dropped by Top Step just completely out the blue, and he was one of their major affiliates. Dropped out the blue. So the thing is, with people like Apex and Top Step, companies that have been around for a fair few years, people know about them. They tend to use them anyway. So compared to what they're paying for affiliates, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of these companies started ditching affiliates. I mean, you guys that kind of make, you may use my code, which gives me a little bit of affiliate. It doesn't cost you anything more. But once you've started going back and back, you're aware of Apex, you're aware of these, and all of a sudden, if they stop using me as an affiliate, it wouldn't cost you guys anything more. But it would save them paying me another affiliate. So I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of these affiliates payments dried up a bit. In fact, I had an email from Take Profit Trader the other day saying, can I submit a plan that I'm, what was it say? I think I deleted it. I was a bit annoyed with Take Profit Trader anyway. Nothing terrible, but let me just, I think I deleted it. I think I deleted it. Yeah, I had to submit a plan on how I was promoting Take Profit Trader. I don't necessarily promote these companies. I use them, and I have little promotion things on my screen. But, it wouldn't surprise me once these companies become known that they cut back on the affiliates. That's my thoughts. Whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. Yeah, so he's a nice guy, Cami Capital, but, they just kind of drop you like that. The trouble is, in a lot of cases, those incomes are a big thing. So people like Nutty and Alpine, I wouldn't be surprised for a second if all the money they spent on evaluations and PA fees would be less than they make per month. So if you think about all their fees, that's just really getting covered by the affiliates. To be honest with you, excuse me just one sec. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like Nutty or Alpine going to a casino, and the casino owner says, "As you advertise me on your stream, here's $10,000 worth of chips. Whatever you make, you can keep." That's nothing bad or personal to them. I like Nutty. I think he's a nice guy. I got nothing against Alpine. He's not my cup of tea. I think he can be rude to some people who support him and that, but yeah, when you've got an income like that, which is giving you a wage and paying for all your kind of, your prop fees, it makes life a bit easier for you. That's for certain. They're not traders; they're marketeers. Yeah, it's it's where you kind of draw the line as a YouTuber. And kind of entertainer type thing. I mean, I know Patrick Whelan's. He's said multiple times he makes way more money in his affiliates than he does on his trading. Trouble is, when you got that sort of money coming in on affiliates, you don't have to worry about money. I think Patrick said on some good days he was making $20,000 a day on affiliates. Imagine being able to trade without having to worry about money. That would get rid of your emotions. So I'd say if all of a sudden you got $20,000 per day in affiliates, you could trade without having to worry. Make trading a damn sight easier, that's for certain. Most of us, got to try and make sure I make money out of this. Otherwise, I don't have an income, and I just get by. My plan is not to be like this forever. To get to a stage where I can get a regular income source. I suppose realistically this year, after fees, I'm up about $35,000, maybe even a bit less than that. It's enough to kind of get by and to be able to keep doing it. But, you've got to kind of have a bigger plan in mind, which is kind of why I'm thinking about why I decided to grow these accounts and not take a payment until I can risk 2 to 3%. And use those as like a cash cow then where I can make consistent money for it, because you get a little bit, you spend it, you blow it, you get a bit. You can only carry on like that forever. Have I not changed it? No, they haven't. My mistake. I'll get rid of that later. No, they haven't. Let me just check. I've completely forgot about it. I don't know what they have got at the moment. They tend to not tell you when they get rid of it. Oh, yes, they have. Tell a lie. They have extended it. Yes. Oh, happy days. For another 6 days, 70%. Yeah, they have done. Oh, fantastic. I'll update that then. So, yeah, I can update that later. So it's on for another 6 days. Still 40. I'm pretty much, it will be. Let me just check my emails. It's definitely a good deal, I got to say. It's so nice just to have to pay $40, I got to say. Much better than $140. I'll have had an email. I'm guessing they've just recently done it. It's usually in my junk. Yes, they have. When's it been extended to? Wednesday, November the 11th. Yeah, any size as well. So if you have a 300,000 or a 250,000, that's $40 as well. That's pretty good. It is a good deal, that. It's probably amongst the best they've had, I think. So, yeah, so the 11th. Let me just adjust that. So bear with me just a second. Shh, Wilson, shush that. Shush, buddy. Shut up. So, bear with me a second. Okay. Perfect. Done. Yeah, it's been extended for a week. Well, 6 days, I think. I'm close to passing an eval. I started before the deal. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It will. So I've done that before. Add a couple of 90% offs, and they've changed it and dropped it to $85. Yeah, you will. As long as you pass it before the 11th. In fact, I think they give you a day or two after, because you've got to give them at least a day. Trouble is, if it's too short, it does encourage you to risk a little bit too much. They probably know that, to be honest with you, but so yeah, so it's a good deal actually, especially the $40. It makes things a bit cheaper, but yeah, it does. It will, mate. Yeah, it's good news, that, isn't it? Especially when you've had them quite cheap. So if you've blown anything, just remember as well, if you blow a PA, you get an 80% offer as well. So you could get it for $8. If you have blown one, you can use that 80% off and then only pay $40. So it works out even better. Well, not the fact that you've blown the account, but it's kind of a sting takes the sting in the tail, doesn't it? So book map, what is this telling us? At the moment, there are orders at 77, so it's probably going to go down to the bottom here. There is a lower high there, but that for me is a bit premature, I think. We could do this. I think the moves, there's just not much room to the lows, to be honest with you, for me. It's probably going to work, but I'm wary about that. Yeah, there's only 2 points to the lows. Now, it may smash straight through this. But there are orders at 677. Hold on a minute, what have I missed here? Okay, yeah, there we go. So there's the reason I left that. Now, it hasn't stopped out yet, but I'm guessing it probably will. It's possible failure here, but there are orders up here around about 63. Am I behind here or not? 62 and a half. We've hit those, haven't we? I know they've put them back. So orders at 755, which is down here. So my gut is this is going to push down. But there was no space there, and it came back and nearly got you. So there is a failure there. But it's so tempting to take that. But well, there's just this little bit of colour coming up here, a little bit high. It's probably going to work, but I've taken one trade today, and unless it's an absolute sitter, I'm going to leave it. it's a bit low. There's not much room to the lows here, and we've got kind of a double bottom there. So sensible thing for me to do is just to leave that alone. Does look like it's going to come down, but these orders at early 70s may just pop above there. What are they? About 63, which is there. There you go. So another one bookmap will save you. So there's a failure there. Big bullish bar there. You're thinking if we drop below that bullish bar there, this thing's going to launch down. So I get why traders took that. But just with those orders up there, it's telling me the thing's likely to come back now. You've got a second entry short and orders down here. So I think that's a better option. Trouble is, it's a bloody big bar. Is it any smaller? It's 21 ticks. I think that's a nice trade, though, to be honest with you. But I don't want to take 21 ticks, not when I've already taken a trade. I think that'll probably work. It is 2 legs up, but it's triggered it and just gone straight down. It's probably going to work, I'd guess. It is a second entry short. I think there's a good chance we tackle this bottom, but we've got 3 touches here. So bookmap's telling us there's nothing above price, so I think price will work. I don't think that'll get stopped out. I think price will come down to 55, which is there. So that is my gut feeling. We get a lower higher, I may have a go at that. So there's no reason that would go up enough unless we get aggressive buyers. So I'm just going to get an order here, see if we get a lower high. But looking at bookmap there is orders up there, but not many. So let's see what happens here. Trouble is, we've got 3 bounces here. Okay, and it stopped it out. So I was right to leave that and wait for the lower high.
Order cancelled.
I'm surprised that did that, though. We have. That's what concerns me. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Channel with a break. 2 pushes down. We've made 2 more attempts to go lower, and now all of a sudden this is pushed up. I'm still not convinced it won't come down. We've still got orders down here. But you may argue there's a triple test. Trouble is, I've got a doji on mine, so that's no good. That was better. So 1, 2, 3, triple test. The doji's a little bit lower on there. It's getting a bit wickier now, so there are still orders down here and here, so I'm going to remove that one. Can't see much above. There are at 67, but they're quite weak. So my gut is this is probably going to come down to this level. But it's getting a little bit choppy now, so I'd be inclined to just be a bit careful. Trouble is, having these orders here only gives us part of the picture. This is looking like price is going to come down, but if all of a sudden we get aggressive buyers buying here and they overpower these sell orders, these passive sell orders waiting, it'll send price up. I think it will push down. There's certainly more down here. There's a lot of strength down here to yank markets. Oh yeah, look, to pull the markets down. So that would have worked. I didn't like the bar there, but so if it pushes through this, it'll do it with a bit of vigor, with a bit of vigor. But it could go sideways a little bit more. So orders at 55, which is down here, and then orders at 50. So if this pushes down, I wouldn't be surprised if it did it, got right down to that 50 level. So 2 legs down, 3 attempts higher, and then down again. I wouldn't be taking a long here. That's for certain. It's an inside bar anyway. Still orders down here, so I still think this is going to come lower. No! Oh, shit, balls. That's scared the life out of me, dog. Oh, I can't take any more of this. Let's have a look. Trouble is, because it's going sideways, it may rattle around here a bit first. The aggressive buyers buying there. There's quite a bit more aggressive buyers trying to push that up. You can see them there. So all of a sudden now you've got a bearish bar there. Let me just yank this out of the way a minute. See what it looks like here. So it's that bearish bar's triggered here and pushed up and stopped it out. That's a bit sly, that is. So I bet that will attract traders for sure. Let's have a look. So that's like a hidden second entry short. Very tempting. That is a second entry short there. The size of it though. I think the thing's going to launch down now. I just can't bring myself to take it at that size. I think it'll work. This will push it down now. This will. That's a big bearish bar. Once we get below there, it'll get easier and easier. And below there, yeah. It's very tempting to take that, because if you end up getting that, to me is the end game. That's the one that'll push the thing down. Unfortunately, usually that end game, the one that's strong enough to push it down, is usually large and strong. Trouble is, there isn't that much to the lows there. It's only gone down. Well, it would have gone down enough, but just to the lows, there's less than a couple of points. I'm pretty confident this is going to come down now. We've had 2 bars down. There's no sideways. I wouldn't be surprised if this ticks up and then drops. Strong orders at 55 still, which is there. And then big orders down at 50. So this for me is going to push straight down. Let's see if it does. The trouble is, if we get aggressive buyers, who knows? But I can't see that not going down now based on what I can see. See, looking at bookmap here, there's orders. There's nothing up here. So you would say that will be coming down to 55, which is here. Now, as long as the aggressive buyers don't push up at the moment, the sellers are stronger. Once it gets below there, it'll be game over then. Yeah, there's no orders up here. Look how black that's. Is there any news coming up? 4 o'clock, what's the time? Ah, that's why, news. That's why. I wonder why it had gone all black. I was unaware of that. I forgot to put this on my chart. That could have been dangerous. Just wondered. It's a good job I was looking at bookmap then. It's very tempting to take that. Kind of a lower high. Yeah, it's at the bottom, but with the way bookmap's looking, didn't see that thing going up. Okay, so 2 minutes. That's why all these orders are dying out. So not 2 minutes, sorry, it's less than a minute. So all the orders getting yanked. There is still some down here and here. They're big orders, they are. So my guess is, if this news, this thing will come straight down, obviously depending on whether it's positive news. What is it? Trump speaking. Ah, okay. So He's usually late anyway. So there you go. Price did what I expected. It get to 55. See, I don't think it was terrible to take that. You're getting buyers buying off here, getting trapped. And then I think it'll hit there. Now, I won't be surprised if this triggers, test this and drops. But looking at bookmap at the moment, the only ones I can see here, look how many aggressive buyers and sellers are coming here trying to do something. Slightly more buyers, which has created that. And then all of a sudden, big bearish bar again, trapping some longs. This looks like it's coming down. Big orders at 50. So we need to keep the sellers stronger. Once it gets below there, it'll get easier. Can't see that not coming down. Buyers are trying to push that up. Well, there you go. See, sometimes you can see these buyers are stronger. Look, you can see it climbing. That's the trouble. This is only half the picture. This is a few seconds behind as well. I think it's 5 or 7 seconds behind. So you could see the movement there, but it didn't start growing just for a few seconds later. Doesn't usually make a difference to us, really. How I use it to trade anyway, but you could just see all of a sudden, maybe 5 or 6 seconds after that push, you could see the aggressive buyers just racking that up. I think I am going to purchase this actually, just for a month. So not much in the way of orders up here. Still got those strong orders down below. So really we need those sellers, those aggressive sellers to push this down. Trouble is, as we've broken below there, could push up. Oh, excuse me. Is this thing going to continue down? Still got those orders. It did pick those orders up, which I kind of expected. This is the next bit. Big, massive orders down there. Actually, that was 3 points, wasn't it? Not 2. Okay, interesting. Nice leg and a leg up. As it's broken out the bottom and cleared out any liquidity, it may go up. Tough one there. Okay, that's cleared out any liquidity at the top, all apart from that as of the moment, but I don't think it'd be long. Cleared out there and there, so any trays that would have been taken there, that not as yet, but that's not such a concern for me. This is more where you're going to get sellers. But as we've had a bunch of bounces here, a small breakout and it's pushed up, I want to give this some space. It could push up. And we have had a breakout at the bottom. We could get breakout at the top that may come back in, but at the moment, I'm just sitting tight here. Bar's no good anyway. It didn't quite make it up. An inside bar on the left side, so no good for me. I do like the 2 legs, so I think it's just broad enough not to confuse it as a, or is it? Still looking at a bigger orders down here. Okay, I think I'm going to do it there. I'm going to leave it there, actually. I did an hour before and an hour 40 on stream. I'm up one nice trade today. So the start my new plan to grow these accounts and not withdraw till they're 7.5. Thanks, mate. It's off to a good start. So I want to fill in my chart, take a little photo of this, the trade, enter it into my new kind of my new Excel sheet, and then just kind of it's nice to have a good start when you get a new plan. Nice winning trade, nice start. So I'm going to leave you folks there. So best of luck. It is Friday tomorrow, another week done, another week closer to Christmas. So I appreciate your company. Best of luck. I hope you get a setup. You take care, Karina, and I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. Have a good evening. Stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.